Hey Eastview, happy Monday. It's Connor. Today I am in the family room here at our normal campus. And by the way, if you're brand new to our Devos or you've attended the normal campus recently or even our Bloomington campus, we have spaces within our campuses where if you're brand new, you can come in and get prayer, meet new people, find out how to get connected. And it's in this room at our normal campus where that can happen. So if you check us out on a Sunday, look for the family room, ask someone where that is, and there are people ready to pray with you and get to know who you are. And so that's where I'm at today. And as we dive into our Devo, I would also encourage you to pick up one of these John journals. In fact, in this family room, I think right over there, actually, you can pick up one of these. But if you don't have the ability to pick one up in person, you could also order one offline on Amazon. They're pretty cheap. It just kind of helps. You have the verses on one side and then room for notes, which I've made a note for this Devo on the other. And so what I want to begin with today is, yesterday we kind of dove into the first miracle that Jesus performs here in the book of John. And I think what's a helpful way to start is to acknowledge that everyone sees miracles in a different way. Maybe you see miracles as this weird, existential or out of this world experience that you're never going to see, right? And then maybe for some of you who are joining us today, you've experienced miracles. You've seen God work. You've seen crazy things happen, and miracles aren't weird to you. We kind of approach miracles all in different ways. And so with that, what I want to do is I want to read this verse from John, end of John chapter 1. It's actually going backwards from what we talked about yesterday, but it's going to kind of reiterate how we approach miracles in the first place. And then I want to read a simple quote from a theologian that gives us a new perspective on miracles that I bet you haven't thought about. At least it was new for me. So let me read this verse and I'll share what that quote is. So again, end of chapter 1 of John says this starting in verse 49. This is where Jesus is recruiting Nathanael and Philip, I believe, to be his disciples. It says this: Nathanael answered him, "Rabbi, you are the Son of God. You are the King of Israel." Jesus answered him, "Because I said to you, I saw you under the fig tree, do you believe?" And then he says this: "You will see greater things than these." Jesus just got done sharing with Nathanael that he saw him and knew him under a fig tree before Nathanael even knew. So he was kind of performing a mini miracle within this. But what Jesus is getting at is you're going to see greater miracles than these. He goes on to say, "Truly, truly, I say to you, you will see heaven opened and the angels of God ascending and descending on the Son of Man." Jesus is describing himself as a bridge, as one who helps you experience God, because no one gets to the Father except through Jesus, right? He's probably alluding to one of the first things that he'll see, which is the miracle of water to wine at the wedding in Cana. And so with all that in mind, let me read this quote from Jürgen Moltmann, a German theologian. He says this about miracles: "Miracles are not an interruption of the natural order, but the restoration of the natural order." In other words, maybe when we experience a miracle, it's not that something crazy out of this world is happening that shouldn't be, but rather it's things that should have been there in the first place. Miracles restore what should have been rather than making things unusual and unique and different to us. So that's just one way to approach miracles. Maybe as we talk about the wedding of Cana this week, you'll see it differently, and maybe you'll even see some miracles this week in your life or in the weeks to come. Hey, we love you all. We'll see you tomorrow.